Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of the indicator store. And on this video, this is going to be a very short video about one of the functions of the marker system. Usually we use markers to automate the signal, but let's say we want just a button to enter long or short at a specific position. For example, n ticks above or n ticks below from, I don't know, the last bar or maybe the last pivot or whatever that we can measure. Okay, something like this. Or maybe if we take more bars, we can place an order just slightly above or below those levels. So how can we do that? In this case, we don't need a signal because we are working on manual mode. So we only need to add markers, and it doesn't matter which signal, but just in case we have an indicator painting those signals, we don't want to enter at them. So we can select a fast signal that we are sure that we are not going to create from another place. And now we can see all the buttons. We can see it is asking for an ATM and an account. So let's say that we select the SIM number 2 and one of these ATMs. I don't know, maybe anyone. It doesn't matter for this example. So we click on this button to select the ATM, and here we select manual mode. On manual mode, when we click long, it enters long. We cannot see the order because it is placing the order here on the SIM 1 and we are looking at the other account. Okay, so let me close this position, and now let me select the other account, the SIM number 2. Also on markers, we click on the account button, and now let me choose a smaller ATM with smaller target and stops, 70 ticks. So we place the ATM here. So we have the SIM number 2, the ATM with 70 versus 70. If I click on long, it is not executing the order because the default working method on markers is taking only one trade per bar, but we can disable that option. On manual it is useful. On automatic, usually it is preferred to avoid taking more than one trade per bar. But for manual we can disable that option. So now we can click on long, we get an order, we can close that position and click on short. So we can take several trades on the same bar. Where is the ATM? The target and stop are really big for this example, but anyway, it doesn't matter for this example. Let me choose something even smaller, maybe 10 versus 15. When we enter long, now we can see the orders. It is using the old ATM, sorry. Let me choose the new ATM. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, so it is entering at market, so nothing special. So let's say that now we want to place an order over the high, a few ticks above or below the low, a few ticks above or below. How can I do that? Let me change the account so we clean the orders. Okay, so selecting the other SIM account, and now let's say I want to look at the previous bar. So on the entry type orders, instead of entering at market, so we get an instant fill, or when it detects the selected signal. No, I want to enter at, we need a reference. For example, the high of the last bar and place a stop order at the high. And 4 ticks a better price. 4 ticks better from the high for a long is below, no? 4 ticks below from the reference. And for a short, it is 4 ticks above the reference. If I use a negative number, this is a worse price than the reference. So this is what we need here. And for shorts, my reference is the low. Okay? So if this is the last finished bar, 2 ticks is 2 ticks worse than the low, more or less here. Let me choose, let me check if that works. Because this is an order not at market, this remains active for this number of bars. Okay? So if I set 2, the order remains live for the following 2 bars. If I click on long, I get an instant fill because 2 ticks over this high is already in the market. So we get an instant fill. And if I click on short, then we have this order, sell stop. Let me take a measure here. 2 ticks. 2 ticks from the low. I guess we are using -2. Yes, correct. Let's use a bigger offset so we can see it more easy. 8 ticks is 2 points on this instrument. So 8 ticks negative means for a long over the reference, for a short below the reference, okay? And the reference are the high and the low. Let me try again. So pressing long, we have from that high to the order, we should get 8 ticks or 2 points. It is impossible for the price to reach at that point on the following 2 or 1 bar. So the order is going to be cancelled before that happens. We can also click on cancel from the menu. And maybe something even more interesting is looking at the high of the last n number of bars, or a pivot, whatever. For that we can use the Donchian indicator, because the Donchian is doing exactly that, showing the higher high and the lowest low of the last n number of bars. Here we have 9, 10 bars. If we look at the high of the last n 10 bars, we should get more or less that range. Let me check. So adding a Donchian of 10 bars, and yes, we could place a buy stop more or less here, over that line, or below the lower line. Let's see if that works. How can I do this? I need to have a copy of those values, because now it is not an internal variable, not the high, not the low, it is an indicator. So I need to copy the upper line. I can choose any name. So I need to copy the Donchian indicator with the upper line with 10 bars. Okay, and now we can see those little blue dots overlapping the Donchian. And now we can duplicate that, copy and paste. So now we have 2 lines with the same name. So we need to fix that error. But instead of upper, we can use a lower for the lower line. And the only difference is the name of the plot, the lower plot of the Donchian. And now we have also the dots of the Donchian. Let me take out the Donchian and improve the style of those dots. We can use a line or a dashed line. Let me check. If instead of dot we use a line, This is for the lower line. It looks okay. Okay. Or hash we can also use. No, I prefer a line. And do the same with the other. A line with a width of 2. So now we have the levels. Okay, so my reference are the upper and the lower variables, and that they are already copied. So upper and lower. So now let me remove that Donchian. Okay, how can I edit markers for using that? On the entry type orders, instead of the high, I need a custom variable. Okay, so for custom, we can type the formula of where I want to place my order. The name of the variable is upper on the current bar. I don't remember if I need to use 0 or 1. I guess it depends of how it is calculated, intrabar or not. And I can also add something, but it is more useful if I use this offset. Okay, so -2 for the offset is 2 ticks worse than the reference, 2 ticks above the upper or 2 ticks below the lower. For the shorts, instead of using the low, we use a custom function, and here we place the name of the other variable, lower 0. And let's see if this works. So now if I click on long, we get a buy stop at this distance. Let me check how many ticks we are from here. And yes, it is 2 ticks. And this is what we were looking for. If instead of a long, we enter short, we get a sell stop 2 ticks below the lower line. Of course, I can move the orders. I have the freedom to do whatever I want, increase the trade size, change, cancel, whatever, but they have a timeout. The timeout is currently, can you see, it was cancelled because it is set to expire after 1 bar. So if the current bar is finished and we don't get a fill, the order gets cancelled. But we can place a bigger number. So the order remains active for that number of bars. It is not going to change the position. It is going to remain. Hope this video has been useful for you. And if you have any question or comment, you can post it on the chat room that we have on Discord. The access is free and the instructions are on the description of this video. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.